Hi, this is part 3 in my video series about knitting hats. In this video I am going to show you how I decrease when I have columns like this with pattern between. I'm going to show you how I decrease on each side of the columns, and I am also going to show you how I finish at the top and close the hole that you get in the top of the hat. To prepare for my decreases, I have placed markers around each column. So I have done that in this case in 4 places. And I have the 3 stitches of the column here and a marker to show where the column begins and ends. And I'm going to do decreases on each side of each of the 4 columns. I have 2 methods for doing this, and I'm going to show you both. So I begin by working my way to the first column. I stop knitting when I have 2 stitches left before my marker here. And method number 1 is that on the right side of the column I slip, slip and knit. And I do that by slipping both stitches, going from left and slipping them over onto my right needle like this. Then I use my left needle and I stick it through both stitches like that, and I simply knit the 2 stitches together. And I knit the 3 stitches of the column, and now I'm going to decrease on the left side. And on the left side I simply knit the 2 stitches together. So I stick my right needle through both stitches from the left, like this, and I knit them together. And now you can see that the decrease on the right side of the column, it leans towards the column. And the same here, the decrease on the left side also leans towards the column. So it creates symmetry. So that is one method. So I'll just undo this and go back and show you the second method. They make almost equal results. The method I am going to show you now will become slightly looser. The slip, slip, knit and knit 2 together method is a little tighter than what I'm going to do now, so you have to find out what suits your knitting best. So, as in the same way as I did before, I work my way towards the column, and when I have 2 stitches left on the right side, I do my decrease. And on the right side, I slip the first stitch, I knit the second stitch, then I pick up the first stitch, the one that I slipped, and I slip it over the stitch I knitted and off the needle. Then I work the column, and on the left side I will simply mirror what I did here. So I will knit the first stitch, I place it back onto my left needle, I pick up the next stitch, the one I have not knitted yet, and I slip it over the knitted stitch and off my needle, and then I place the stitch back onto right needle. So now you can see here as well, on the right side the decrease leans towards the column, on the left side the decrease also leans towards the column. So these are the two methods that I prefer to use when I decrease on each side of a column like this. So I will continue to decrease on each side of all 4 columns, and then I have to check the pattern I'm following. Am I to decrease in each round, every second round, every third round? So this may vary. So the rounds with no decreases, I will just work them normally and follow the pattern. And in the rounds where I am to decrease, this is how I do it. So now I will continue to decrease, and I will show you how I finish the top of the hat in the next step. Now I have finished almost all my decreases, and I'm left with a small hole here in the top of the hat. You can see here, 1 column here, 1 column here, my marker, another marker and column, and this is what the column and the decreases will look like. So now I am going to show you how I finish the hat. You may also notice I have gone from a circular needle to double pointed needles, and this is because after doing a few decreases my circular needle became too long and was not really practical to use, so I just worked my stitches over onto double pointed needles. So here I have one of the columns, these 3 stitches here, and the same here, and I'm left with 3 stitches in between the columns. And when I have done decreases so that I am left with only 3 stitches between the columns, I do my last round of decreasing as I'm going to show you now. On the left side of the column I continue to knit the first 2 stitches together as I did before, like this. But now I have only 1 stitch left before the next column, so I have 1 stitch and no extra stitch to work it together with. So I take the stitch I just made by knitting the 2 together, I place it back onto my left needle, and then I pick up the last stitch and slip it over and off the needle. And then I place the stitch back onto my right needle again, and then I pull a little just to make sure there are no extra yarn hanging on the back here. So I knit the column, and then I knit 2 stitches together, the first 2 stitches after the column, place my new stitch back on the left needle, and I take the last stitch before next column, I pick it up, slip it over and off the needle, And then I place my stitch back onto right needle, pull a little, and then I work the column. So I continue to do this throughout the round, and then I'll get back to you on how to actually finish the top. So I am back at the beginning of my round, and I have cut my yarn, and I'm ready to do the final step and finish the top of the hat. So what I'm going to do now is that I knit all the stitches, but when I slip the stitch off the needle, I simply pull the yarn end through the stitch. And I continue to do this with all stitches, and when I'm finished I am going to tighten this, use this to close the hole in the top of the hat. So I'll just show you. And this is what the hat looks like in the top area when it's finished. The yarn end here on the wrong side should be sewn to the top here to make it stay closed and secure. And this is how I usually do when I decrease on a hat with columns like this. Thank you so much for watching.